All right, guys. It's that time.
What time is that?
It's Poddie time. It's the podcast where we review a lot of things, we have a lot of discussions, and where I wear a blue hat.
And
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a hat.
Changing it up.
Yellow.
Last episode, you wore a hat.
It's 2021, man.
Switching it up.
You know it.
New year, new fits.
Yeah, boy.
Get with it. Bars. So, we wanted to start off this episode to kind of sort of recap 2020 because, guys, we're fresh into 2021.
I know, crazy, right?
Pretty dope.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we had a pretty good New Year's get-together. I had him and a few friends over, and we played Uno. He's very annoying to play at in Uno. He is very competitive and dishes out dishes out like the +2, +4, +8 cards at everyone. So if you ever play Uno with Jake, watch out.
Savage.
Very savage. But yeah, like we said, we wanted to kind of recap what happened in 2020 with some like key events that happened to kind of like help you guys remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because that year wasn't bad enough already. So let's just take a little trip down memory lane and go through some of the highlights. So without further ado, let's dive into this first article. 2020 events. Yep, these things all happened in the year from hell.
The New York Post.
Yeah. Yep. From a deadly pandemic to a global movement for racial justice, the year 2020 certainly experienced its fair share of world-shifting events. Here's a list and timeline of the major events that happened last year. That's right, Australian bushfires. That did happen. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Word. The country faced one of its most devastating wildlife seasons as the blazes continued from December 2019 into the new year and burned a record 47 million acres, displaced thousands of people, and killed at least 34 people. Okay, I thought there was going to be a bigger number, but I'm glad.
Yeah.
Like, that's a low number. I wish it was 0. I wish no one died from that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's a kind of good outlook to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not wishing people death. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle quit royal family. Oh yeah, they quit. They quit.
I'm done.
Dunzos. They were like, see ya, royal family. We're just a family.
She's like, Queen, you and me, dunzo.
One hundo.
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
they quit.
Yeah.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex shocked both sides of the pond on January 8th when they announced they were stepping down as senior royals.
Yeah.
Of course, this little thing of 2019, the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic. That's how you say it in like French.
Yeah.
Yeah, a doctor look. Okay, the photo is of a doctor looks at a lung CT image in Wuhan.
Yeah.
In English, it's called Wuhan.
China.
China. The World Health Organization announced January 9th that a deadly coronavirus had emerged in Wuhan, China. In a matter of months, it spread across the globe to more than 20 million people, resulting in quite a few deaths.
Wow.
In one of those that isn't related to the virus, Kobe Bryant, our homeboy, passed.
Yeah.
That was very unexpected. I did not expect that.
Yeah. That was a pretty big deal. Yeah. Just out of the blue, kind of left field.
Yeah.
And stuff, yeah.
Dude, it was along with his daughters. And 7 other people. That is so bizarre. That's just one of the most like outlandish. You don't expect that. I mean, definitely didn't expect anything else that we're seeing on this list, but that's just like devastating.
Yeah.
Rest in peace for sure. That was on January 26th. What a way to start the year, man.
Yeah. For sure.
Wow. Yeah. So great topics we're going over today. Of course, the New York Post would put some bullshit in like this.
Yeah. The next one that kind of caught my eye was Harvey Weinstein verdict. Do you remember that?
Barely.
How it all started?
A little bit. I think I did a little bit of research on him months ago, but yeah, we should definitely go over that.
Yeah. Well, before I read it, I I think it was like he was found out that he would like kind of lure like actresses and stuff,
Yes.
and like would kind of sexually assault them, and kind of like would make bribes like, oh, if you do this I can make you famous, stuff like that, which
Yeah.
like, and then more and more people like started like
Catching on.
talking about it because they were so afraid that they would lose their careers as actors and actresses. But yeah, so the disgraced Hollywood kingmaker was convicted February 24th of raping an aspiring actresses and sexually abusing TV and film production. Oh, a TV and film production assistant. The verdict was celebrated by his dozens of accusers and their supporters as a watershed moment for the Me Too movement.
Yeah, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
pretend like I know everything about that. I definitely don't. But that is what I heard. That is the claim that is what he was doing, is really abusing his power, and that's not something that's unheard of, especially in like Hollywood.
Of
And,
course.
like, what goes on in California. There's a lot of crazy stuff there.
It's pretty twisted.
That's honestly probably like scratching the surface
Yeah.
of like the type of abusing of power that takes place in this kind of stuff and these kinds of roles. So, but I definitely believe it. I believe there's quite a bit of like there's a lot they have to use against him. So
And
yeah,
it's sad, you know,
Very.
that like instead of relying on talent and stuff when it comes to people's abilities, the only way that you can make it big is by like, you know, doing things
yeah,
with the higher ups,
Yep.
which kind of like shows how twisted like this hierarchy is. You know what I
Truly.
mean?
yeah, and it's one of those things where I think I had much more of an interest probably like 10, 12 years ago of like this kind of stuff and like getting into like being an actor. I think
Yeah.
I briefly was like interested in it. But
Same.
like the more you learn about this, it really like devalues the worth of it, or like ever thinking of like wanting to pursue something like that.
Because it's dark.
Very dark, and it almost makes you wonder like how does anyone get in that without having to submit to something like that? Like I could just never picture myself ever like trading in something like that.
Yeah. At what point is it like worth it? Like lowering yourself as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it stinks that like people have that warped mindset where to like fulfill their dreams,
Like
they have
that's
to do
the
this.
only way you can do it. Like
Yeah.
that's the only way to get through.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've always looked up to people like George Lucas, where he came up with like the craziest, biggest vision of Star Wars. He did it like independently.
Yeah,
Like he made it independently. Like he came up with that, and that was single-handedly like the biggest production that like no one thought was gonna ever go anywhere, and it just exploded, and that was like his thing.
yeah. He was shot down a few times, wasn't he?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
He was really shut down with it, and he just made it independently. And he's like, that's his goal from the start. He just wanted to create something independently. He didn't want to have to go through a system like that. I'm like, that's the coolest, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Mandalorian's awesome.
Yep, Mandalorian's sick.
It's dope.
We should like review that in like another like episode or something.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
So another one we wanted to touch on from this part of the article was the Kim Jong-un death rumors. I do remember this. There was definitely speculation of like, was he actually already dead, and that they were just kind of like faking it. That
Really?
he was like still in power.
And to be honest, I was unaware of this until reading this.
I
article.
heard he died because there was like a brain injury or something that he dealt with. I think.
Really like a
So,
tumor or something, or
something like that.
aneurysm.
Maybe I have to
Okay.
like do more research on it before I could actually like say anything on camera about it.
Gotcha.
But so here's what this says: the North Korean supreme leader fueled speculation that he was either gravely ill or dead after he missed events commemorating his grandfather, Kim II Sung. On April 15th, he reemerged 20 days later in photos released by state media at a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The despo, however, faced a new wave of skepticism over his health in August, when a South Korean official claimed all the appearances were faked and he was in a vegetative state. So yeah, I think that's the part we left off on,
Yeah,
where
that's
he's a little veggie-tail now.
that's wild. Yeah.
Nothing that I would ever wish on him.
Well, yeah, obviously. I must have been living under a rock. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of stuff that's going through this entire year, man.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me, though.
So let's just
There's
move on.
a Twitter hack. Holy cow.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So apparently there's a Twitter hack where a group had allegedly spearheaded by a Florida teen. He took over Twitter accounts of prominent business and political figures, including Joe Biden, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Kanye West, in a Bitcoin scam.
There's a tweet that Elon Musk apparently like wrote that I guess is because of him. I live in giving back to my community.
I live.
So he could hack all these people, but he couldn't get his freaking grammar right.
Yeah.
He was like casually just like running as he was like writing this from the police.
Elon Musk would never like misspell anything or use the wrong grammar. Nah.
Nope.
Yeah, you could tell.
I live in giving back to my community. I'm doubling all BTC payments sent to my address. You send $1,000, I'll send $2,000 back.
Since that makes sense.
There's an ad. Tell your family and friends. There's some idiot that followed this. Oh my god, he's gonna give me $2,000 for $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Because the business-minded Elon Musk definitely sees how that would pay off and make a source of income. No.
Do you see that guy's face? He's like, yes.
He looks like the actor of Anakin Skywalker. That just looks like his brother.
Yeah.
He's like his pissed off brother. He's like, I couldn't make it in acting, so I do this.
He's like, fear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
He's cool. Then there's, of course, the Jeffrey Epstein.
Alleged madam was nabbed. Oh. July 2nd on sex trafficking charges while holed up in a luxury home on a 156 estate in New Hampshire. So she was like kidnapped?
Apparently. Well, no, it's an arrest.
Okay, so they arrested her.
Yeah.
Okay, that was okay.
She was staying at her 156-acre estate in New
right.
Hampshire.
Things are going really hard. So that brings us to murder hornets arrive in the U.S. All right,
Yeah.
2020, baby. I like how the description of the image is a murder hornet. Like, just to clarify.
Yeah. So the invasive insect known as the Asian giant hornet was spotted for the first time stateside when they invaded Washington state. Measuring up to 2 inches, the hornets can wipe out entire bee colonies just within hours.
That's whack.
Let's look at another article here, because I'm pretty interested.
Let's
in
jump.
this.
Yeah, let's jump on that a little more. Here's another one. Here's another one by the New York Times. Here, read that headline.
Okay. Murder hornets in the U.S. The rush to stop the Asian giant hornet. Sightings of the Asian giant hornet have prompted fears that the vicious insect could establish itself in the United States and devastate bee populations.
So this isn't necessarily towards like people.
Yeah. Do you see how huge that is?
Let me scroll down. Yeah, it's a big.
That's wild. Holy cow.
That's a fat bee.
Well, and you know that bees are pretty important for the ecosystem too.
No, they're not.
Okay. Yeah. For
They're stupid.
Pollinating, dude, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And of course honey and stuff like that. But
This is our window to keep it from establishing. Chris Looney, in Washington State. Blah 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 blah. All right.
they can, like, their stingers are so long that they can puncture bee suits. You know those suits where you wear them to like not get stung? They can still sting you with these.
They could just double up on it then.
Yeah,
Just
it's
make one
sting
that's a
with
bit-
the sting.
Yeah.
And dude, look at this. This picture.
Is that in the same article?
Yeah, yeah, dude. It
Let me
like
find it.
a murder hornet like killed all these honeybees.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I'd imagine that it's highly affecting anyone who's like producing honey and stuff like that too in
It
Washington.
says the members of Ted McFall's beehive near Custer had their heads torn from their bodies.
Yeah.
Like those bees are doing that to these bees?
Yeah, they have giant like mandibles.
They're just like
apparently.
cutting the heads off?
Yeah. For real.
Why do they know how to do that specifically? They're like, yeah, I'm going to go for the head.
That's just what they do, man. They're
Dude, that is weird.
They are bullies.
On a cold morning in early December, 2.5 miles to the north of Mr. McFall's property, Jeff stepped on his front porch with the terrier mixed dog. He looked down to a jarring sight. It was the biggest hornet I'd ever seen. The insect was dead, and after inspecting it, he had a hunch. Jeff had a hunch that it might be Asian giant hornet. It did not make much sense given his location in the world, but he had seen an episode of the YouTube personality Coyote Peterson.
I've seen that episode.
I haven't. Getting a brutal sting from one of the hornets.
Yeah. And
Dude.
there's another part of here. I think you scroll up towards the top. It explains kind of how big they can get and keep going. There it is. With the queens, okay. With queens that can grow to 2 inches long, Asian giant hornets can use mandibles shaped like spiked shark fins to wipe out a honeybee hive in a matter of hours, decapitating the bees and flying away with the thoraxes to feed their young.
Yum.
For larger targets, the hornet's potent venom and stinger are long enough to puncture a beekeeping suit, which make for an excruciating combination that victims have likened to hot metal driving into their skin. That's nice.
Save the honeybees.
So apparently, when they do bite off their heads, they use that to feed their young. That's jacked
wild.
up. That's wild, dude.
These things were made for destruction.
Yeah. Well, I think that about covers it for what's happening online. Their kind of review here, and you want to shift into our main discussion?
Yeah. So, the main discussion that we wanted to go over today was the subject of forgiveness, because a lot of the times when we shoot these episodes, I have to forgive Jake on how stupid he is, and it's just like you gotta be humble.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
What can I say? It's a 2021 new year. I got my problems I'm trying to fix, man.
So, question one is, why are you the way you are? Stop.
I don't even know where to start.
I don't either. Okay, for real. The today's subject is the subject of forgiveness, and we wanted to kind of dig into that a little bit and just really discuss it and kind of see our points of view on that. And so, I basically just wanted to jump into it. Say the first question is, what is forgiveness?
And
to you, what is forgiveness to you?
To me, forgiveness is pretty much letting go.
Okay.
If you've been wronged, it's just letting go of that hatred or that bitterness you have towards that person, and just still wishing the best for them.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, it definitely falls in the same category for sure.
Yeah.
I think there's a few different ways to look at forgiveness and what it is. I feel like people mistaken forgiveness for some sort of weakness, and I feel like that's just coming from ignorance. People get fed up with that. Like, oh, you just expect me to forgive, but whatever.
Pride issue too.
Yeah, definitely a pride thing. But I feel like they also look at it as, you just keep letting yourself be a doormat for people to walk on with forgiveness. I don't necessarily think it is that. I feel like it is more along the lines of you are letting something go that happened, and you're, letting go of that hatred. Because if you, I feel like this kind of answers my next question, so I'm kind of trying to not overlay it.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
But basically, I feel it is, you make a point to let go of what has happened to you, so you can take full responsibility for your own life and not let life just be this thing that I feel like I'm controlled by life and all the circumstances and stuff. You'll just make a point to let go and say, I'm not going to let this thing that happened to me stray me off of my path of where I'm going. I'm not going to let this distract me and constantly just have me hold on to a grudge with someone. I'm not going to let that eat away and distract me. Instead, you want to let go of that so you can keep pursuing your own path and stay focused, really. I feel like that's more along the lines of where it comes from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. So that's forgiveness to you?
I feel like yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah, definitely.
Okay. Um, I guess we can take turns. I got a question for you. Um, why do you think it's so hard to forgive someone? And what's an example in your life where um, that was kind of a trial for you?
I feel like it's hard to let go of things, and I feel like forgiveness can be tough because of pride, and definitely like egos that we have. That can get in the way a lot of the time, and I feel like the more we step out of our own way and stop having this idea of like wanting to force things and just let things go, have like let there be a flow to things in life. Stuff like this becomes much easier to just be humbled to, and to let yourself not be so like I want to hold on, and you can just let it go because there's a flow to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a lot of like ego driven things. What is the second half of that question? Like,
What's an
what's
example
an
in your
example?
life that comes to mind where it's been hard for you and you've
Yeah.
really had to dig deep and realize that you had to forgive?
Yeah. I mean, so I don't want to get super personal with this, but there's like I broke up with a girl a few months ago. I thought she was super cool. There's a lot of things I liked about her, but there's just ultimately our paths are very different in the goals we strive for in life and what certain things we're going for. And I feel like that was a pretty good situation where I just had to learn to like, however they might have wronged me, or just in a relationship in general, it's like you have to have forgiveness, and you really do need to be able to really say like, you know what, they might have done this thing at one point that really upset me, that I am furious with them for, but you just have to say, you know, I'm equally just as imperfect as them, and I have a lot of things about myself I have to work on. So having that empathy, I feel, is able to make me kind of look inwardly and say, well, you know what, if I'm going to hold on to some grudge like that for them on this particular reason, then it's like, well, they can point the finger at you and say the same thing. That doesn't do anything for anyone.
Yeah.
So it's more like being able to just find that empathy in yourself and, like learn to let go of that pride. I feel like that can really be a huge stepping stone, at least for me anyway, of being able to dig deep and saying, okay, I need to learn to forgive this situation or this thing that happened and really let go of it, or otherwise it does eat away at you. So that's mine. I mean, do you have anything for that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. When it comes to like it being a pride thing, when it comes to forgiving them, you know, why it could be so hard, and especially if you tend to think with your heart, and when it comes to like caring about other people and stuff, you tend to want to hold on to that, and also you don't want to make the same mistake again. So you want to like build those walls kind of, and you don't want to be like, you know, made the fool. You don't want to get hurt again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard because you want to be able to be like vulnerable and stuff. And just when it comes to trying to not make that mistake again, it can be hard because it can affect you socially. But
Yeah.
an example in my life also has to do with a girl I dated in the past, and she actually ended up cheating on me, and that was really hard. Not only because of that, but just the situation in general. Like a whole bunch of people knew and stuff, and it kind of just blew up in my face, and like they had known for a long time and stuff. So it was just a bad situation. And the thing is, we have to remember that everyone has a story,
Yeah.
and we can lose that a lot when it comes to like people wronging us. We're all like, well, why would you do that to me, all that stuff, which yeah, it sucks, but you have to think, how did they get to that point in the first place, as
Yeah.
to why they treated you that way or did that to you.
Right.
And just remembering that they're a person too, and that you owe it to yourself, that I feel like that's kind of huge, and can be lost a lot.
Yeah, and that's definitely not easy, but it's like objectively when you look at that and you feel like that's the answer to take. Yeah, like you're definitely in like the right mind and the right way of thinking for that.
Yeah, it's hard though.
Yeah,
It is hard though.
It's not easy.
Yeah, and it took me a while, and yeah, but I'm thankful that I worked through it. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of strength to pull from that. That makes you
Yeah.
grow like exponentially as a person, and just like the things you can take on and what you and like the amount of knowledge you gain from that, and, like the understanding I feel you would gain from like situations like that, and like how to improve yourself as well. I feel like there's like an exponential growth that does come from that, even if you don't like at first realize that. Over time, it does like come full circle
Yeah.
of like what you understand. There's a lot of depth to that. The second question I had, and I something you were saying earlier kind of reflected back into this. I kind of want to jump back on
Okay.
to answer this. What happens to a person psychologically when they're not able to actually forgive someone or something that has happened to them?
Okay. When it came to that situation that I was just talking about, that happened when I was in college, and I was in the music program and stuff. So like I would see them every day,
Yeah.
which was hard for me. Like I had, I kind of was very bitter, and I had this grudge and stuff, and it was just this constant reminder every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like psychologically it really affected me. It made me paranoid. It made me very very bitter, and it affected my social life in college because I was around them all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I had this kind of OCD where I wondered, like, why would you do this to me? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And I really cared about you
Yeah.
a lot. And not having that resolution, really, like, I was constantly like just wondering why. And I feel like you owe it to yourself, your sanity, to let it go and forgive. You're not always gonna get like resolution in problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like living with knowing that you're not gonna get all the answers and stuff, that was definitely hard for me. And a big lesson for me to learn. And I felt like I owed it to my sanity to just let it go. You know what I mean? But it took a good while for me to do that, and
Yeah.
it like kind of had developed this trust issue. And not everyone's bad, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like the psychological toll of that, like obsessing about it, wanting that resolution, just wondering why, really got to me, and I kind of had like closed down, kind of socially, just because no one likes being made the fool, you know, and you just
Right.
don't want to make that mistake again. You know?
And yeah, earlier like you were saying how you'll build up those walls
Yeah,
and you don't want to be vulnerable again, but there's that conflict because you do want to.
you owe it to yourself, man.
Yeah, and I know there's certainly a part of like that definitely runs along the lines of answering this question, like what happens to a person when they simply don't forgive. They don't learn to do that and they just hold on to it. What happens, I feel, is they definitely build up walls and they kind of find safety in being like very mean and having walls up, and like they find safety in anger.
Well, in themselves, they feel
Yes.
like that they can mainly in the end just trust themselves.
Like by having that wall of where it is mainly like anger or however you want to put it towards other people and stuff. I mean, it definitely is something that's going on internally, but they're also thinking they find safety in that. When all it really does is just like push people away.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really do anything for anyone. It's just a bad situation. But that is something I have noticed, sometimes in myself as well as other people. And so, like, especially when I found that in myself, because there's times where I have not forgiven or I've chosen not to, and you do see it play out later in different parts of life. It is very interesting how it works, because I've seen it where I might hold it in this one area and I see it pop up in like something weird way over here. I'm like, it really does just kind of like bleed out into like different areas. So it's just like a branch effect. It'll just be like, and it'll be like, here's all these different things it affects now. If you just don't like kill it right away, and you learn to just like cut it right there, it'll probably show up like 6 months later in something where like your temper snaps one day and you're just like, I'm going to throw something, and like, you're like, where did that come from? So that has been my experience with something before, but when I'm like, it's like kind of rare for stuff like that to happen, but when it does, I definitely do recognize it.
And kind of branching off of that, what I was saying earlier, that everyone has a story, another perspective to have when something like that happens is just like knowing that they must have had something in their life that has affected their behavior process, and they project on people around them, and it shows.
Yeah.
And it's easy to kind of fall into that victim mentality,
Right.
of being like, oh, you did this to me, meh. You know what I mean? When really they've clearly had something happen to them as to why they are that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, moving on, the last question that I have for you is mainly, why do you think it's important to forgive someone in the first place?
I mean, I feel like that kind of answers like stuff we said earlier.
Yeah.
It's so it doesn't it doesn't end up like eating away at you. So it doesn't knock you off your path and where you're going. And like, especially if you have like if you're trying to develop a stronger relationship with God, like especially, you really do want to forgive. You really want forgiveness to be something you are good at doing. And I've heard that advice alone just from like married people, like married couples and all that, where they're like, yeah, that's one of the strongest points, is like being able to forgive all the time, because there's so much that people screw up at. A lot of people screw up on things. And that's just something you need to be able to do. Otherwise, it eats away at things and carries grudges.
Yeah. And we're all human. We're going to make mistakes. Being able to soften your heart, and being able to let things go is definitely easier said than done, but it's so important.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake's not a person, but
yeah,
like for the rest of us humans, definitely important to keep that in mind.
I was actually made in a lab, so
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
One of the clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So anyways. So with that being said, we wanted to kind of leave this episode off on a high note with some of the best memes that we have seen recently.
Yeah.
Mainly sponsored by Jake in this episode.
You're welcome, people.
If you guys
You're
laugh
welcome.
at these, thank Jake.
And if you don't,
thank Jake.
Yeah, pretty much.
These are the worst memes I've ever seen.
Like, I hate you.
All right, so here's the first one.
Now watch when I flipped her hair back. Did you see the difference of this hair?
My God, yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Is that gorgeous?
It's beautiful.
Now let me look at the back. I am telling you, this hairspray is amazing. Now, do you love my plump and thick?
I keep like 8 cans at a time.
Oh, girl, let me give you a kiss. That is good. Mwah. That one's got it. Whoa. I fell on my booty.
Thank you.
Here, go back. Go
And you know what, Chief?
Time.
Oh, girl, let me give you a kiss. That is good. Mwah. That one's got it. Whoa. I fell on my...
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Oh.
He's so like excited, and he's like so excited even afterwards. He's like, "Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good."
He's
You
on
bought my
TV. He's
product."
got to like play that off.
Yeah, that would suck.
I smell like beef. I smell like beef. I smell like beef. I smell like beef. I smell like beef.
That was uploaded in 2014.
I know it's so old, but I don't know. It just has
I've
a
never
special
seen-
place in my heart.
I've never seen the old one until just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. It took me that long to see it.
It's classic.
Very classic. Isn't that like early Vine?
Yeah.
Was that a Vine?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think it was originally uploaded to YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. It's too long to be a Vine.
Yeah, true. Let me see. When's the original?
Can you just think that there are some people who's like, "What's Vine? What's
Yeah.
Vine?" Yeah.
So great.
Before TikTok, there was Vine, people.
Vine is the origin of what you see as TikTok today.
Yeah.
It was just super short videos, awesome punchline, super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next one's pretty hilarious.
Ready?
Good God.
Oh my god!
Dude, okay.
Oh, children running in fear, my favorite.
I saw this the other day and I had read the comments. They were so good. Like, those kids ran everywhere else but inside. I was like,
What?
I laugh for so long at this. The way the bunny waddles and is dropping eggs gets me every time. Those kids are definitely emotionally scarred. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Like-
that scream at the end is just so funny.
Yeah, I know.
So-
It's like,
I don't know why I found it just so funny. People are probably like, "What?
Like,
Why do
I-
you find children in fear funny?"
there's definitely two crowds to that. There's people that are
Yeah.
like, you should scare kids, and there's other parents like, that's funny, I'm doing that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be scared too. That thing is absolutely terrifying. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Replay the
Look,
scream.
this kid, Mom, can we have an Easter bunny for my birthday? She says, we already have an Easter bunny at home. The Easter bunny at home.
Just that scream at the end. I don't know why, but I just found that hilarious.
Oh my god!
Dude.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, goodness.
that's hilarious. Okay, what's this next one?
Something about a microphone? I don't know. We should just, like, watch it, you know?
Oh yeah,
Let's see
true.
what this is.
Oh. Well, what a cliffhanger. You don't know what happened.
Maybe she died.
That's a dude.
Maybe he died.
Well, someone must have been pissed at him. That lady just jammed it. Like,
Just jammed it, bro. Like,
Oh,
jam-packed it.
snap.
This next one's good.
Next time you fucking put a hand on me, I'ma fucking rip your face off, bitch. What did he do to him? Cause he fucking pushed me. Next time
isn't that a vine?
That's
though?
a vine.
Yeah.
put a hand on me, I'ma fucking rip your face off, bitch. What did he do to
You see that
Cause he
kid's
fucking
face.
pushed me. Next time
There's
That
like,
kid, he's just like this.
you fucking put a hand
He's like, what the?
on me, I'ma fucking rip your face off, bitch.
he was like, I'm just
He
gonna
just
walk
walks
away.
away.
Okay, but look, we got.
What did
This looks like they're in a trailer park or something. This little kid's got like a house coat on. He's screaming at someone,
You think it's a house coat?
and then he like throws the N-word out there
Oh, really?
at the very end of it. Yeah. it cuts off, but like in the original one, I was like, this is like the hood of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a robe that had like just the skulls on it.
Because if I can...
How old is that kid?
He's got to be like 8 years old, man.
What the heck?
Kid's crazy.
Wow.
I just want to read some of the comments on this. 4th grade line leaders be like, why is he wearing a bath? Okay, yeah. The real question here is, why is he wearing a bathrobe on a street? Also, where did he learn all that profanity? Who pushed him? Why? I'd like to hear his side of this conflict.
I know. Another cliffhanger, dude.
The voice crack. Okay. This is a bonus one that I liked.
What's this?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
What? Why is he wearing a freaking Master Chief?
The Master Chief's in the bathroom, man.
Why is
it's
he-
just funny.
This
Why
I
you
have
gotta
s-
question it?
I have so many questions. Like, why is he pouring ice on him? And why is
Because you
he
think
wearing...
you're gonna see some dude that's naked run out of there, but it's just a full Master Chief costume in there. That's what's funny. Have you never seen a Ice Cube bathroom prank before? Oh my god! Oh my god, Jake!
No, I have, but
Uncultured.
I mean, this is the Master Chief part. I was just like, is this Halloween? I just was like, why shower in Master Chief costume? Excuse me! I need answers.
I mean, so I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah. But that was fun.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, man.
We went through some videos. We talked about some murder hornets. We talked about some forgiveness.
That
We did a
good
lot-
tish,
We
you know
did
what I
a
mean?
lot of subjects talked about.
I guess. Yeah, so we hope that you guys can walk away after watching this, learning something. We all go through life, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned something valuable. Let's start that over. Hope you guys learned something valuable from it, just something you can take with you. It's kind of what we like to do with the main discussion topics, just see what we can do to kind of bring it to the table for this. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video.
Smash it.
Smash that like button. Share this with someone. You know, we want to get the word out of this a little more. We want to start uploading these to Spotify. Actually get them out there on legitimate podcast platforms. So yeah, we're just kind of starting it out on YouTube and seeing if it'll grow, and then push it out on different sources. So yeah, if you like this stuff, just tell a friend about it and get someone else to watch it.
And if there's any certain topic that you guys think that we should cover, feel free to leave a comment.
Definitely,
'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah.
And let us know if like anything we're saying in these is kind of valuable to you guys and what you're taking away with it. Especially like I said, the main discussion points like forgiveness or like what we went over last week.
Anxiety, humility, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to pick up different topics that you guys find appealing. But all right, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Yeah.
I'm Jameson.
This is Jake. This is Poddie time.
See you next time, people.
Deuces.